Okay, so I wanted to take a minute to talk about something that's kind of it's interesting, and it's also a huge red flag for me. I ran across, or my wife ran across, an article this morning about the FBI and DOJ retrieving the Bitcoin that was paid in ransomware to the Russian hackers. The article, they don't explain how they recovered the Bitcoin, but I've had a few friends asking about how they would have done it, because Bitcoin's supposed to be secure. The government's not supposed to be able to come and take your money away from you, and the FBI is not supposed to be able to hack into the network and take money back. And all of that's true. You can't do any of that stuff. And so the article that I read, and I'll put a link in the description to it, but the article that I read alluded to the fact that when the ransomware was paid, that the hackers failed to continue to move the money around. And this is something that you used to have to do in the banking system. You would get paid funds, and then you would take those funds and you would move them into another account in another country, and then another account, and you would move the money around so much that the FBI and the DOJ couldn't keep up with where it was, and eventually you would end up with the money and they would have no idea who got it. The problem with Bitcoin, though, is that's not the way Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is a public ledger, and for anybody out there that's confused about that, it literally means that everything you buy and everything you sell is going to be stored on a public ledger that everyone else can see. Now, you have a little bit of anonymity because the wallet it has no name on it. You are the owner of that wallet, which is an encrypted key. There's a public key and a private key, and the public key is what you give people to send you money. The private key is something that you have on your computer or you've written down somewhere, and you have to have it to claim the money, but you do not have to have it or access it to get money. So again, to be clear, money is not stored in wallets. Money is stored on the ledger. The ledger links all of the money to wallet IDs, which are public addresses to these wallets, and without the private key, you can't get the money. So the story goes that perhaps the FBI ran across the private key and they could access it. They also claimed that they were watching the money as it moved from place to place, but then later in the article it says that the money never moved from the very first time that it got put in the account. Then it says that they only recovered half of the money. This is a typical governmental whitewash process here that makes no sense. I mean, literally anybody with any common sense knows that it doesn't make any sense. So first off, Colonial Pipelines got hacked. Within an hour, they paid $4 or $5 million, whatever it was. That money was paid in Bitcoin. That Bitcoin goes out onto the public ledger into a wallet ID. Where that wallet ID, who has that wallet ID, I literally could walk over to my computer and create a new wallet ID in about 2 seconds, and then tell somebody to transfer money into that wallet ID, and it's just sitting over here on my computer, but nobody in God's green earth is going to know where the private key is. So it's just out on the ledger saying money went from this wallet to that wallet. That's it. So the thought that the FBI is going to hack into somebody's computer, or that they're going to infiltrate some group and get access to these private keys and especially in the fact that they're trying to claim that it was Russian hackers that did all this, it's suspect at best. There's just no way that happened. So for those of you that are confused, or they're worried about the fact that Bitcoin is not as secure as we've been told, because the FBI can go and take your money. Also, the article alludes to the fact that perhaps the government is going to take back all of the ransomware money, and this is a trend that in fact the article says they hacked the hackers. This is not hacking. This is not even legitimate. This doesn't even make any sense. The only way that I could see this happening is the hackers are so stupid that instead of going to their computer and creating their own wallet ID, they go to a public exchange and create a wallet ID up there, and then they have them transfer the money into that wallet ID. Because again, the wallet is not, the fact that I have the wallet on my computer does not make the wallet accessible or exposed in any way, shape, or form. All the wallet is an ID, and that ID is transferred out. It isn't transferred anywhere. So even the FBI looking at my computer, they wouldn't be able to tell what the private keys were, and even then, they wouldn't know where the wallet was. So it just, the whole thing just reeks of bullshit. I mean, there's no, our FBI and DOJ are not that smart. They didn't hack this shit, and they didn't recover this money from the Russian hackers, because I question whether the Russian hackers even exist. I told my wife the very first time that I heard about this, I said, it's really stupid that hackers would actually ask to get paid for ransomware in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is public. And so what it means is that it comes out of the company's wallet into the hacker's wallet. The hackers then transfer the money to wherever wallets they want to, but all of that stuff's on the public ledger. So the FBI, where they used to have to go to another country and get jurisdiction to be able to go and look and see what was going on with a particular bank account or something, with Bitcoin, it's all out on the public web so that everybody can see it. So they literally can sit and watch that money move from this wallet to that wallet to this wallet. So it does no good whatsoever to move the money to another wallet. None. And the problem that you have in this scenario is that as soon as the hacker actually spent the money, say they transferred it to 1 million different wallets, it would not matter. The FBI would just track it all the way to the end. And then at that point, as soon as that money got spent on Amazon or on any other public site where the FBI could go and say, hey, we need to know who used this particular wallet ID, they're caught. So it really just doesn't make any sense. And then turn around and tell me on top of it that they didn't use their own wallet ID, that they used a public wallet ID and let some exchange hold those Bitcoins for them. Either these hackers are some of the dumbest human beings I've ever seen, or this reeks of an inside job. And when I say inside, I mean inside the United States. I don't doubt that the FBI is involved in this entire scheme. It was also very suspicious that within an hour of the hack, they had already been paid. And yet it took Colonial Pipeline weeks and weeks to get the pipeline running again. The whole thing doesn't make any sense, but this DOJ bullshit that they just rolled out on the web to tell everybody how awesome they are and how they hacked the hackers, it's nothing but total bullshit.